Hi, my name is Hazem Gaber, and today we're going to learn about cranes and hoisting signals. So, when we're lifting an object with a crane, there's a guy up in the crane and there's also a guy on the ground, and they have to talk to each other and they have to agree on the signals that they're going to be using. So, there's at least two people involved. There's probably more, but at least two. So the guy on the ground, he's known as the signal man, and the signal man tells the operator or gives the operator a signal when any of these circumstances happen. So he can't see the load, or the distance between the load and the operator is really far, so it's hard to judge a distance, or the crane is getting too close to an electrical line, or the operator does not have a clear view of the pathway where he's moving the load. Now, the signal man must always be able to see the operator so he can give him signals, and he must also have a clear view of the object and its path, and obviously must be out of the way of the object. So now these are standard signals, but there can be different signals and depending on what people have agreed to. But basically, waving your arm back and forth perpendicular to your body tells the operator to stop. And waving both arms like spread out at shoulder height is like emergency stop, which means stop right away. You know, something bad is happening. And then having the crook and between the thumb and forefingers of each hand interlocked tells the crane operator to dog everything, which means stop all movements to the equipment. Now, if everything's going well, then we can just go up or down. So now, if you look at a crane, we've got what's it called? So we've got let's say we've got our load here, and we've got a rope, and we've got a boom, and then we've got, let's say this is a crane that's on the ground. So the crane can do one of two things. It can raise, depending on the system, it can raise or it can lower the rope. This is our boom. So our boom can stay put, or it can raise the boom or it can lower the boom. And it can also, the crane has wheels sometimes, but that all depends. So the crane can move left, right, and it can also turn. So when we point a finger up and turn our hand, we're telling the operator to go to lift, hoist up the load, and then when we point down, we're telling the operator to lower the load. And then when we point up with a closed fist and put our arm out 90 degrees, we're telling the crane operator to lift the boom. And when we point down with a closed fist, then we're telling the operator to lower the load through the boom, lower the boom, sorry. And then if we just point out 90 degrees, then we're telling the operator to swing the boom a certain direction. So swing, or basically potentially turn the crane. Now, when we have to slow down, we can make our movements slowly. So we can hold up one hand with the palm towards the operator and rotate the index fingers of the other hand on an open palm. So one hand, so if we've got, if I go like this, that means go slow. And then if I place my arm out with my palm down and open like this, that means raise the load slowly. And if I go up, that means, you see that, that means lower the load slowly. And then if I got my palm up and open with a fist, and I point, here's my fist, and if I it's easier to see this way, backwards. So if I'm pointing to my fist, that means lower the boom slowly, and if my palm is down, that means raise the boom slowly. So that tells the operator to go slow, and it's a two-handed signal. Now, if we want to keep the load the same height but move it closer or further to the crane, then we can use an outstretched arm with our thumb down and open and close our fist, and that's telling the operator to lower the boom but raise the load. So remember, we've got a boom and we've got our load. There's our crane. So now what we're telling the operator to do is lower the boom basically, but raise the load. So now the load can be the same height, but closer to the crane, because this is a much safer setup. It's less likely to cause a stress on the crane or cause the crane to tip. And just the opposite, we can raise the boom and lower the load. I mean, I can't go that high, but we can kind of go this high. Oh, you get what I'm saying. And then erase. We can go really high, for example, or we can go, yeah, this is about as high as we can go. Okay. Now, sometimes we've got a crane with a telescoping boom, so that means the boom can get longer. So this is my boom, and my boom can get longer, let's say. So if I make two fists at my belt level, that shortens the boom, and if I make the fists with my thumbs pointed away from my body, that extends the boom. And then we can lower the load while extending the boom, which keeps us at the same height, or we can raise the load and retract the boom. And we do that with either our thumbs out or our thumbs in. Any questions? Please leave a comment. Thank you.